Uh, Hi guys, thanks for joining the masterclass. Today we'll be talking about the new EU VAT regulations and how that is going to impact dropshippers. So we will just wait for a couple more minutes before we start the masterclass. Hey guys, thanks for joining the. Can you guys hear me now? We're just starting. So thanks for joining today's masterclass webinar. So today's agenda is about the new EU regulations and how it is going to affect dropshippers. You might be aware, Payoneer, we regularly conduct these masterclass sessions, especially for VIPs, and we try and have expert talk about some very specific problems or some very specific update that is happening in the market. And that is why today we chose the new EU VAT regulations, because that has changed the way dropshippers look at Europe's market. Before we start, and for today's session, we have Simon from the HyperSKU team who is joining as an expert speaker. So before I hand over the presentation to Simon, I just want to take you all through a quick look as to what are the new updates with respect to the Payoneer account, and especially with respect to Payoneer. Firstly, one of the biggest updates we have this year is that in June, Payoneer went public. We listed in New York Stock, NASDAQ through SPAC route. And this is just not possible without the support that we have received from our customers, especially the VIPs in the region. And I thank you sincerely on behalf of Payoneer for your support and patronage of your Payoneer account throughout the years. So quickly again, a quick update about your Payoneer account. So we have the new product called the Payoneer Digital Purchasing Mastercard. It's a USD only virtual card available as either a standalone card or a multiple virtual card. This again is a significant upgrade on the existing prepaid cards we had in 2020. This is accepted on all websites. You can even use this card to open Amazon stores. You can use this card to pay for Amazon advertising apart from Facebook, Google, AliExpress, etc. We will continue to add more features to this card, and with respect to price, $29.95 per year, irrespective of whether it's a single card or whether you have, like, say, 30, 40 cards. And the cross-border fee is completely waived. How do you apply for this card? Please just contact your account managers and they will help you with the card. Again, one significant question that I have received in the last 3 to 6 months is how does card pricing work? Quickly, 3 factors that influence card pricing. One is the country and the currency in which the card is issued. The digital purchasing card is issued based on US in USD. And the country of acquirer, that is the country where the card is used. So if it is different country, the prepaid card has a cross-border fee. The digital purchasing card does not have that. And again, the currency in which the transaction happens. So if you have a USD card and the end transaction is in euros, then there is going to be an FX fee that is going to get applied. Again, like I said, it's an invite-only product specifically designed for internet entrepreneurs with help from MasterCard. Again, this has been a feedback to us over the years that our prepaid cards don't really have the same acceptance. And because of this, we actually worked with MasterCard for pretty much the entirety of 2020 to develop this card. The next update is with respect to Payoneer and eBay. So international sellers, I'm happy to say, can now register to sell on eBay and get paid through their Payoneer account. So you don't have to worry anymore about juggling multiple payment platforms or opaque foreign exchange fees. Quick requirements on what is needed to link your eBay account and Payoneer account. Just ensure that if you sign up for an eBay account as an individual, ensure that you sign up for a Payoneer account as an individual and both details match. Again, you can reach out to your customer success manager or the Payoneer account for more details. And with that, I'm handing over to Simon. Simon is the VP Europe for HyperSKU. He has worked and lived in China for the last 10 years, and he's basically an expert for all matters cross-border from China. Again, he's one of the most sought-after speaker for China businesses and e-commerce related events. And we are glad to have him here with us on this expert session. HyperSKU, they help global online sellers, especially Shopify sellers, with sourcing and shipping from China, and they also do end-to-end logistics. And with that, Simon, I'm handing over the Belgian team.
Great, thank you so much for having me here on this event. I'm really grateful for the opportunity from Payoneer. We did several events together with Payoneer. This is one of them, and hopefully we can share a lot of content and value today. If you have any questions, please do let me know. You can just drop it in the chat group. We will handle them. When I see them, I will handle them, and otherwise we will make sure we get it covered in the end. Before we start, I would like to just ask you, is anyone already selling into Europe right now and is facing maybe some issues? If you are, maybe you can raise your hand, or you can type something yes in the chat. Then I get a little bit of a feel if who is already impacted by the current situation in Europe. Okay, I see no hands yet. So hopefully this will enlighten you to see what options you have. Does anyone also have an idea maybe why these rules have been implemented in Europe in the first place? Any thoughts? If you can type why you think these rules are implemented in Europe. All right. Okay. Let me move on with the presentation. So a little bit about me. I'm involved with a company called eTailer Hub. The brand name is HyperSKU. Before I just recently moved to Europe. I'm originally from the Netherlands. I've been based in China for 10 years before moving back to the Netherlands. Been involved with China business for all of these 10 years. Also sharing content online, on podcast, on YouTube, on Facebook. And that's why I also think educating online sellers of what's happening, the things that I've seen and experienced in China in particular, I would like to share and hopefully make that easier for other people to continue their online dream, more or less. Today, we're going to talk about the rules and regulations that have changed. Basically, to answer the question of why these changes have happening, or what kind of changes are happening since the 1st of July this year. So yeah, it's already 1 month in. I will share a little bit about what developments I've seen so far. The distance selling has been withdrawn. That's a big regulation change, where before, if a parcel was more than 22 euro, then you have to start paying import tax. Now everything will be taxed. So that's a big impact. That's the main one. The second one is that there is a new regulation that before, if you are, for example, registered in the Netherlands, or you as a non-EU, you can register in any country in Europe. Once you're selling 10,000 euro or more outside of that country, you will have to start paying the taxes in the country of where you're shipping to. So that means that you need all these kind of representations in different countries, which makes it very complex. With this new tool that has been developed by the EU, you basically have one registration and you pay accordingly to the taxes of the country you're selling to. The other big change, the third change, is if you're selling on eBay, Amazon, or your AliExpress, the platforms have been made responsible to make sure that the VAT has been paid. Before, a lot of sellers were not paying that. I think this is the main reason why this rule has been implemented. I think particularly because of Chinese sellers who have just been not paying any VAT at all, that we're using these platforms as a great way, that these platforms are taking more ownership and they're more accountable for the sellers that are selling on the platform to make sure it's all compliant. So these are the main changes. First, 22 euro to zero. Threshold has been 10,000 euro outside of the country of registration, and the marketplace. This is a big change rule. Maybe I can drop the link later for what's here below, more information about these rules and regulations if you want to see that. The main change that has happened is, so current situation is basically before 1st of July, there was no VAT if the parcel was less than 22 euro, no custom clearance fee. Once it was over 22 euro, but below 150 euro, before you had to pay the VAT only and no import duties. And over 150 euro, you had to pay both duties, clearance and VAT. The change from 1st of July is that you will have to pay VAT over everything. There will be official clearance and there will be a little clearance fee. If your parcel is over 150 euro, then it is no longer considered a B2C shipment. It's more considered as a B2B shipment. So then it will be taxed differently. So to try to consider that when you're selling online. If you are a high ticket seller, then maybe our category is 150 euro or more, but majority of the low ticket sellers will be less than $100 or 100 euro. Why this new rule? Europe saw that there was actually a very uneven level playing field where non-EU sellers sometimes had an advantage over local sellers. Therefore, they try to make it more favorable for local sellers to have a business online. The second one, and probably the biggest one, is the European Union missed out on a lot of taxes, really billions and billions. I think it was like more than 200 billion euro on missed taxes every year, which is a huge, huge amount. Just simply because people undervalue, don't pay any tax at all. That one is worth implementing rules. And then they want to have more compliant flow of goods. Compliant flow of goods, meaning that they actually know what's inside, what's the product description, what's the value of it, who is it going to. They want to have a better awareness, because maybe you can imagine a lot of parcels have been sent by post, and these parcels, there's no data. There's a label on the parcel, and the label says, this is what's inside, this is the value. Very easy to cheat, and it's not really easy to check because you have to open them to verify if the content is real. That's something that with this rule, there's much more data being shared. Data about the product, about the value, about the weight, about the receiver, and also about the shipper. That kind of information has become very valuable, and that's why this new rule will be used. And this is just the first step. So there will be more phases that European Union is going to use to be able to implement all these rules, because there are a lot of headaches still ahead of us, but it is solvable. That I can tell. When you look online and try to collect more information about the EU rules, I think it's important that you think of who's writing this, from what perspective is this written, because the perspective really gives an angle to the pitch. Normally, a consumer, they want fast shipping and an affordable price. I don't think that has changed. An online seller, you want to pay the lowest possible cost with fast shipping. Logistics, you want low risk and fast throughput. You already see that there's a conflict, right? Low risk for the logistics could be very competing with what the online seller, what the consumer wants. For customs, they want qualified data. They want the correct data, and they want it to be transparent. That's also what a lot of them have been cheated with. And accountants, they want everything to be documented so that they have a proper invoice, proper documentation, so that they can apply for the taxes accordingly and the bookkeeping. And then like Amazon, like an eBay, they're stock listed companies. They want to prevent any fines that they can get, which will impact their valuation when it's because of their stock listing. All of these 6 groups, they all have different needs. It's important to understand. I think most of the time you will see articles written by a logistic company or by customs, and they will give you very strict rules on what about to change. There's not too much information about online sellers, how online sellers are handling this situation. That's what we would like to share a little bit more. What has the European Union created to be able to make this happen? There are 2 tools. They're both similar names, but they have a very different purpose. You have the IOSS, which stands for Import One Stop Shop, and you have the OSS, which stands for One Stop Shop. There is 2 differences between these 2, because the Import One Stop Shop is only about recording the import taxes for goods that are coming from outside the EU into the EU. The OSS, the One Stop Shop, is for the sales tax. So it's about your sales value, about the sales tax that you have to pay over the order that have been paid to the consumer. Therefore, the IOSS is about your purchase value. The OSS is about your sales value. 2 very different values, very different calculations. So make sure you're aware about these differences. And if you have an accountant or a legal representative, also make sure that they're aware of how to be able to identify how it works. When you do the shipping, you basically have to ship with or without an IOSS number to be able to have the custom clearance. So the IOSS is for the custom clearance upon arrival. There are 2 modes of custom clearance. Maybe you're familiar. I just assume that you're not. If it's new, sorry about it. I'm just going to repeat it. There's 2 ways. One is DDP. The other one is DDU. If my connection is not strong enough, let me know. Then I can switch to another device. Please just type it in the chat. The DDP means duty delivered paid, which basically means it's cleared in a country of arrival. This example, from China, shipped to the EU, arrived in Belgium, it will be custom cleared in Belgium based on the clearance information provided by the supplier, the seller, or the logistic company. Then after clearance, it will be sent as a free good to other countries like Belgium, France, or Germany. This is if you use an ISS number. So that's after you register an ISS number. If you choose not to do that, which some dropshippers are doing, they don't use IOSS number, they're using DDU. That means due delivered unpaid. The customs clearance is done upon arrival in the country of destination. Even if your goods are first through Belgium, then it will be sent. Belgian market will be custom cleared, for France will be custom cleared, for Germany will be custom cleared separately. And it will be custom cleared on the consumer. So the consumer will get a notification by email or phone number. So it's important to have an email or a phone number there that there's a parcel has arrived and they still need to pay a certain amount before it will be released. Now, this is, of course, crazy because these are millions of parcels that are going to the EU that have never been tagged and necessarily will be taxed. I also think a lot of people think that this is not feasible to be able to suddenly check everything. That's true. It's not feasible. Not everything is checked. According to it, it's maybe 10 to 20% that has been checked, and consumers will get a notification and they will have to pay for the amount if they want the parcel to be custom cleared. It's still manageable. I think that during this year, it will increase. The percentage of checks will be higher. The percentage of messages to consumers will be higher. If that's the case and you prefer to use DDU solution, make sure that in your mailing to your customers, you put a message that you might receive this message from the local postal company. Please notify us, and we'll all of them do refund. Because the difference, what you need to realize is that the custom clearance is done based on the product value, the purchase price of the product value. It's not the sales price. The custom clearance is not done under the sales price, because the sales price you pay sales VAT. The custom clearance is done based on the product value. That's a very big distinction, which is very important to know. So what means is that if your product, you purchase it for, let's say $10, that's the cost price of the product, excluding the shipping. And then your consumer will get a notification. We received this product, $10, please pay the VAT percentage, maybe 20%, depending on the country. And they will have to pay that, plus a little handling fee. Handling fee is roughly between $3 to $5 per order. So that's still a lot, but much less than if you would pay the sales tax. When you consider the EU, I marked in blue, marked what is the European Union. Some countries don't belong to the European Union. They belong to Europe, but don't belong to the European Union. I know it's very confusing. Countries like here you see UK, but Ireland belongs to it, UK doesn't. Norway doesn't belong to the EU. Switzerland doesn't belong, and here are some countries in Eastern Europe. It's important for you to realize for you to be able to know what's the differences. So some countries like Sweden are part of the EU, but Norway is not. That's important to realize that there are different policies in place. What do we recommend for EU sellers? We do recommend to create an IOSS number under your own VAT number, if you have one, and create one OSS number for your sales if you're selling in multiple countries in Europe. If you're only selling in one country, no need. You can just use whatever you're using now. And all the details for how the taxation work, how you can apply, what agency you can use, or what are the local regulations per country, is in this link. I will share it later after I finish the presentation in the chat so that you can also take a look at that. And maybe Ashwin and his team can also add that into the follow-up email after this event so that you have all the information there. How does it go? If you want to register, this is in Dutch. I don't expect you to be able to read Dutch. I just want you to be able to understand what's the process. You go to the tax office of the country. Normally they have a one-desk system where you submit your request. And normally the request is for IOSS, so import, and one for the union. It's called the union number, which is the OSS system. Basically, you get two numbers. One is for import and one is for the union. These two numbers are both linked to your VAT number. So everything is connected. It's very easy for your monthly taxes. It's quite convenient. Actually, it has simplified the process a lot. The only difference is if you're not used to paying VAT before, that is the major impact, I would say. The number itself consists of two letters and 10 digits. It starts with IM from Isaac and Maria, and then 10 digits, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, whatever kind of number is being assigned to you. That number needs to be added to the orders. So when you have an agent or you're shipping yourself, your logistic company needs to know this IOSS number so they can add it to each order so it can be custom cleared under that number. I get a question like, this is confusing as hell. Is any agent service available or agent we will be able to use their number, etc., and pay a fee? Yes, there is. Let me get back to you on this, Ryan. Thanks for the question, because I understand this is very confusing itself if you're not familiar with this. What you have to do if you're a non-EU seller, one option is you create your own IOSS number by using a fiscal representative. So you look for a country in Europe which you have a lot of sales, or you're familiar, or you speak the language, or whatever. That fiscal representative will help you with the monthly taxes for both the import and the sales. That's one option. The other option is you ask your agent if they have an IOSS number, and you use that IOSS number of your agent. That's one option. Or you find an IOSS number from someone else, like a platform, but that technically is fraud. Some people are using it, like using the eBay IOSS number. My suggestion would be either create your own or use the IOSS number of your agent. That will simplify a lot of your work. If you're a big seller, meaning more than 100 orders a day, it makes sense to use your own IOSS number and have a fiscal representative. If you are a smaller seller with less than 100 orders a day, I suggest to use an IOSS number from your supplier. In our case, we work with Unexpress a lot. Unexpress, they provide their own IOSS number, and we add that to the orders. And the order information will then have their IOSS number, which will be added, will be added to all the order information. And the difference is that you do pay a fee for that. It's not free to use someone else's IOSS number. In the case of Unexpress, they charge 30% of the product cost. 30% of the product cost. So let's say you're buying for $10 US. That means the extra cost will be $3 US to use their IOSS number. This 30% is based on two parts. One is the VAT number, the VAT amount. So let's say they use 25%, which is fixed, and 5% handling fee for themselves. So if you don't want to use your own IOSS number, or you think it's very complicated, try to use your agent's or your logistic provider IOSS number. But do remember there are some extra costs involved. After that, no cost for your consumer. Everything is custom cleared and handled. I want to share you the math because in the end, you want to know what does it cost. If you use an IOSS number or no, these are the costs. So let's say the product value is 10 and you don't use an IOSS number. The percentage in, for example, the Netherlands is 21%. You have to pay 2.1 euro additional. There's no handling costs. You do pay a customs fee that's 3 to 10 euros, normally 3 to 5, and that will then be your final cost for the order. Let's say in this case, 3 euro handling fee, customs fee, and then 15 euro. If you use your own IOSS number, you don't have these costs. You just have the product value and you don't pay any import tax. So for the import, there's an advantage. If you use a third-party provider, then normally still you use the product value, you pay your VAT, and there's a handling charge. And then you come to the total cost. So for the import-wise, this makes more sense. Use your own IOSS number. For set up everything, I would say use a third-party IOSS number makes more sense financially and also just hours and time spent. This is the IOSS part. So here comes the sales part. So if you're selling this product, you're buying it for 10, but you're selling it for 30, you will have to pay the sales tax. I don't know if you're paying the sales tax now. I assume you do. In all cases, you still have to pay the sales tax. I know some people are not doing that, but that's a choice. That's then the risk that you take by not declaring the VAT at the country where the sales takes place. Shopify has no strict rule about it. There is a setting in Shopify where you have to put in your VAT number, but it's not compulsory. It might be compulsory in the future, but currently it's not. eBay, Amazon, you will have to pay the sales VAT. I'm not sure, Ryan, if this answers your question. We have our company registered in the UK. What do you suggest for us? So UK is not considered EU. So that means that you need to still apply for an ISS number in the EU or make use of a third-party solution with someone else's ISS number. You will have to comply with the EU regulations. So that will be my suggestion. By product value here, do you mean the selling price or cost price of the product? Product value here, I mean cost price of the product. Sales value is the sales price of the product. So this is your product value is for how much you have purchased the product. So let's say you pay for 10 euro the product, 5 euro shipping, and then you're selling it for 30 euro. Hopefully is more clear. So yes, that's excluding the shipping cost. It's only the product cost, correct? Yes. So there's a big difference between import tax and sales tax. Import tax is only about the product cost, no shipping. And then your sales tax is your sales price that includes all your cost and your margin, basically. What will be the impact for you? Some brief questions for you to share. If you haven't been paying sales taxes up till now, having an ISS number will help you and will prevent you from problems. It will make you compliant. So I would recommend that if that's what you're used to. So in that case, get an ISS number, get a fiscal representative. If not, then use a third-party solution. How do you register? This is the link to get registered. If you are looking for a fiscal representative, I can refer a few to you and you can make a choice. Will there be any delays? There have been delays, there will be delays, simply because these new regulations, they have not been very well prepared. It's kind of like forced by the European Union and everyone has to comply, but most are not ready. That means that data is not always accurate, not enough resources to check all the parcels. There will be some delays simply because most are not ready. Delays, if you're using your own ISS number or any ISS number, will be a few days. If you're using no ISS number, then it can be 1 or more weeks. That's also the time advantage that you will have. If the data is all complete, then no much delay. If there's no number involved with the clearance, then it will be manual clearance. It will be passed from, in the example, Belgium, maybe to Germany, and then will be custom cleared whenever they have time. So there will be some delays that you have to consider. So you can notify your customers about that as well. Shopify, the rule is that when you're a marketplace, you have to come up with your own rules and regulations. Shopify is not considered a marketplace nor a facilitator. We as HyperSKU are also not a marketplace nor a facilitator. So we cannot register our own ISS number. Shopify also cannot. They're not a marketplace. They're a platform. Does HyperSKU have our own ISS number? We do. We use our own logistics partner where they charge 30% on top of the product cost, which again is your purchase cost. Who can help me get VAT registered and file my VAT? There are multiple service providers. You can Google, you can ask me, I can refer you some agents. We don't do that ourselves. I would suggest to look into what country you would like to have the registration and what language, preferably if you speak a certain language. Maybe there are providers that can help you. Is the question I got, I'm checking the question. So is the import tax in addition to the sales tax or can it be offset? If you're using your own ISS number, it can be offset. If you look at the example that we say here, own ISS number, then no VAT because you're already paying it here. There's a connection between these two numbers. Therefore, you don't have to pay twice. If you're using a third party, then you pay both here and here. So then there's no offset because it cannot be tracked that this payment is related to your sales. Hopefully this answers the question. If I paid import one of your import tax, can I deduct it from the sales tax? Yes, if you're using your own IOSS number. If you're using an IOSS number from someone else, no, because it cannot be traced. You can try by asking an invoice from your supplier and let's try your bookkeeper to do that, but it's very hard to trace because there's no connection. Hopefully this answers your question. If not, please put another follow-up question if it's not clear. And yeah, these are the main questions the topic I wanted to share about the IOSS. We also have a video online that you can also a little bit about our company itself, about HyperSKU. So we mostly help dropshippers or any online seller that is buying from China to source the product, to fulfill it from our warehouse, and then to ship it out to the consumer or to overseas warehouse. All this process we take away. So finding the product, quality control, even branding, track and trace, we take care of that. You can find all the information in our system where all the information is shared per order. You can decide which orders you want to pay with us, which ones you want to fulfill yourself. And if there's goods are not delivered, most of the time there's another delivery chance. We want to be an extension of the online seller. We don't want to be a service provider. We want to be feeling that we're doing it together. So whenever there's opportunity for you that we can take away tasks that related to sourcing, fulfillment, and shipping, or paying your orders, talking to suppliers, negotiate price, that's all what we take away. So for you, the most focus will be getting products, finding the products you want to sell, working on your marketing and your advertising so that the traffic is coming in. And then once the orders are there, then we help you with everything till delivery. That's what we do. Some about our facts. We support now about 9,000 stores, have over 1 million new SKUs in our system. Our shipping from China is about 7 to 12 days, which is calendar days. 99% delivery rate, use 211 shipping options to 72 destinations. So not to everywhere in the world, simply because not everywhere in the world has the best shipping methods. Once the goods are ordered, we purchase the product, shipped to our warehouse, which takes 1 to 3 days, and then the delivery. Roughly, we have 5,000 orders a day divided over 5 warehouses. This is more or less what I wanted to share. I hope I didn't confuse you more. Just remember, EU has regulations for import and for sales. The import is the IOSS, the sales is the OSS. If you're not sure what to use, suggest to use your third-party provider. If you have a lot of revenue in Europe, I do recommend you to become compliant and find a fiscal representative to register yourself and have a really compliant flow. If you want to reach out to me, all my contact details are here, simon@etailerhub.com. My phone number, you can add me with the phone number on WhatsApp, or if you prefer that. Our company is on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, anywhere you want us to, any social media. This is what I wanted to share. Are there any further questions that somebody would like to ask? Is there any customization possible with your service, such as putting custom name, photo in a selected product? I know it's kind of hard to answer this type of question, but basically, when it comes to branding, there are four options that we offer. There can be more customized, but 4 options. One is adding a thank you card or a note in each order, where you deliver the design, we print it, and we add it to the order. Second one is when it comes to B2C shipments, that we customize the shipping packaging. Normally it goes into a white envelope without any text, but you can customize it by having an envelope with a color or your logo, or maybe a logo sticker to put on each order. The other one is product, to brand the product packaging. And the other one is brand the product itself. So put a logo, print a logo, or stick a logo on the product itself. These are the 4 most common ways for customization. If you think that's you have one more customization, you let us know. For product customization, normally it requires an MOQ. For thank you cards and shipping packaging, it's much more flexible. Yeah. Any other questions that people might have? If not, Ashwin, I think this is more or less what I wanted to share. I get a question, do you support marketplace orders? We do support, our best integration is with Shopify and WooCommerce and BigCommerce. That's where we have the orders are being synced automatically. If it's Amazon or eBay, then it will be a manual upload, which we can facilitate as well. What is good to remember that if you're using eBay and Amazon, you don't need an IOSS number because the platform already has an IOSS number. So you just have to reach out to eBay or Amazon. They will provide you that number. You add that to your account and everything is taken care of. So only for independent stores like Shopify or WooCommerce, you will need an IOSS number. If you're selling on marketplace, just make sure you have the IOSS number of the marketplace, and then the rest will be taken care of. All right, let me see if I can give the mic back to Ashwin.
Thanks, Simon. That was a very, very valuable session, and I hope our guests, VIPs, also found it equally valuable. So again, after this session, we will be sending out an email with the recording of this webinar, and please feel free to reach out to Simon or us for any questions related to EU VAT regulations, sourcing from China to Simon. And any questions with respect to your Payoneer account or the digital purchasing card, or how do you start selling on eBay through Payoneer, again, please reach out to us and we'll be happy to help you. And once again, thanks, Simon, for taking valuable time for this presentation. It has been a great evening. Thank you.
Thank you.
So with that, we will call this a wrap. Again, if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to us directly and we'll be happy.